Mr. Toastmaster, and guests. Today I want to talk to you about a turning point in my life. I was only 13, and I was finishing 8th grade. I was so excited. I'd gotten into the high school of my choice. Now, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and when I lived in Cleveland, Ohio, when I was 13, about 90% of Cleveland, Ohio was Catholic. So all of the best schools were Catholic schools. And there was one fabulous Catholic women's school on the east side and one fabulous Catholic women's school on the west side. I got in to the one on the west side, and I was so proud. I was just like, now to give you an example of how hard it was to get into these schools, there was a test to get into high school. I knew people who couldn't get in. So I was like, dang, I'm so fine. I can do all this cool stuff. So I get to high school and I'm like, wow, this is great. Let's try out for everything. So I was on the track team. You were supposed to laugh because I don't look like a person who could be on the track team. But I ran the 100-yard dash. And the way I learned to run the 100-yard dash was at our house we had an alley behind our garage. And in the summer, we swept it every year and we laid down lines. So I ran the 100-yard dash as a kid from the time I was 4 years old until I got into high school at least 4 times a day all summer long. I could beat anybody at the 100-yard dash. The 100-yard dash, which is now somewhat longer because of the meters, is a really neurotic runner's dream. You just get started and you don't even think about it until you're done. So that was perfect for me. So I joined the track team when I got to school. And I did really well with the 100-yard dash. I won every time. So I didn't worry about it. It was not a problem. And I said to myself, they started us really early thinking about college and how we were going to get into college and how we were going to finance college. So I said to myself, I better do some more things. So I joined the French club. I joined anything I could join, I joined. And finally, one of my friends took me to see a play. Oh my God. My life was transformed. I saw this play. It was a one-act play festival contest, and in fact, I saw 10 plays that day. They were all in competition with each other. And the senior from our school, who played the lead in our town, won Best Actress. And guess what she won? She won a scholarship for half of the tuition to a college. And I said to myself, you know what? I can do that. I'd never been in a play in my life. I said, I can do that. I'm going to do that. So time went on, and I started trying out for everything, and I started to get cast in things. But the real change that came in my life, the transforming moment, was this one. My family had Sunday dinner. Every Sunday, you had to be there for dinner. You needed a note from your mother if you weren't going to be there, and she didn't give any notes. And we all sat. We had water glasses, and we all had a little bit of wine, and we had all kinds of silverware. It was French service, and you sat there and you talked. You had to be able to talk on current events. I mean, my mother was like, with a whip, that you could never see, but it was there. So, we're sitting there talking one day, and we were talking about college and going to college. I'm just a freshman, so what do I know? But my brother, my oldest brother will be in college, and then my next oldest brother would be in college at the same time. And I discovered, doing a little math in my head, that I would also be there in college if I was able to go to college at the same time. And my mother, before I even thought about it very much, said, well, it's much more important for the boys to go to college. My reaction was unbelievable. I thought, holy shamoy, they can't pay for it. What am I going to do? So I'm 13 and I'm going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How can I fix this? They can't pay for it, and my mother doesn't seem to think it's important. What am I going to do? So I went back to school and I joined everything. Whatever I hadn't joined before, I joined. I was like the queen of activities, and I decided to jump into doing theater at school. I did theater at every school I could get to on 2 buses and a train. I mean, if I could get there on 2 buses and a train, I went there and did plays. So I did that all through high school. And I was even an apprentice at the Lakewood Shakespeare Festival, which was a professional company. So by the time I got to be a senior, I was ready to go. And I was cast in The Miracle Worker. I was blind and deaf. I performed the play. And I won. So I paid for half of my college myself. There was the other half to worry about. What to do. So school was over, we had graduated, and I worried a lot. And while I was doing all these activities, I was also ramping up my academics, trying to be better and better. They posted every quarter the top 25 in your class in the school. And I never saw my name until I went to clean out my locker. And there it was. Number one. The next week, I got a letter saying that the college that I was going to go to was going to pay for half my tuition because of my academic excellence. If I could do it, you can too.